friends, it's Kathy of It's in the Cards Divination. Welcome to my YouTube channel where I provide readings as well as some learning in there and how to live your reading. So for those of you who are new to my channel, I'd love it if you consider subscribing. So click on the subscribe button, the like, the share, the comment, and or the alert button to receive notification when I posted a new video. Okay, that housekeeping is gone then. But for my returning subscribers, thank you for being here. It means everything to me that you've come back. So my friends, last week we looked at the World card and how that would play out for your week ahead. Did you get anything finished? Did things come to an end? Or were you spinning your wheels and just trying to get things done? So if you'd like, go back to my reading last week and listen to that and you'll see what I was talking about. So now let's move on for this week's reading and I will see you in your reading. Hi friends, here's your reading for this week. I've already shuffled and pre-dealt the 3 cards, as you can see. So the main focus this week is going to be the 4 of Swords in reverse. And our challenges card here is on the left, or hidden influences, what's keeping us from attaining whatever goals this week we need to do. And on the right is guidance or advice. All right, so let's get started on your reading. So this week, I would say, is the 4 of Swords. It tells us that it's time to get up and get going this week. Don't allow yourself to get into your head and stay there, okay? You can see these swords are falling, or in this card deck, it looks more like knives, are falling away, okay? And she's holding on to one. So it's like, well, that's not too bad. I can get going this week, let go of the ruminating I've had going on and the negative feeling it causes. So for some of you, it's a week of getting better, feeling better. This could be physically, mentally, emotionally. It's healing, okay? And I don't read medical healing, but this is the card about healing in all different capacities. Now, when I see it in reverse, this is the way I interpret it. I see as, and I will get to that in the next section, but it's a week of starting to get better, starting to get up and get out there and get to work. Okay, so let's see what our hidden challenges and influences are. 2 of Wands in reverse. So this tells me that what keeps you from doing this or getting going is that you just can't decide which way to go. You're like, okay, but it's better just sitting here and relaxing and not doing anything. But it tells me that you have to make a decision. Make a decision. Which way are you going to go? Don't let any opportunity this week get away from you. It feels like if you sit around, as we know, if you sit around and do nothing all the time, you're going to end up in no man's land. Okay. So that seems to be the hidden influence. Maybe you're somebody that just can't decide and make a decision. All right. So now let's look at the advice card, the Sun in reverse as advice. Ooh, interesting. Don't allow yourself to become negative. You know what I mean? Like when you make a decision to do something, perhaps you're hard on yourself, you're feeling pessimistic. Yeah, but why bother? It's not going to work out anyways, right? That seems to be the energy around this. It's like, well, what's the point? But it's telling me don't allow yourself to get into this frame of mind. Make a choice, stick with it, and get going this week in whatever fashion. If this is just your thinking, because often the 4 of Swords refer to our thinking, it's telling us stop going in 2 directions. In other words, you're stuck in the middle. You're stuck in this vacuum, okay? And your thoughts go round and round. Don't be so pessimistic about this. In other words, as I said, what's the point? Let go of that feeling, the pity party. And I've talked about this before. So this seems to be the general reading this week. It's all about getting up and get moving this week. And now I will switch you over to living the reading and behind the cards. All right, so I'm just going to switch over to this, okay, my friends. So as you can see, how did I get that reading? Well, as I mentioned, the swords, in this case, they look like knives, large knives, are falling away. So you're going to try to let go of that thinking. You're going to, she's in bed, the upright, but when it's in the reverse, it feels like you've been stuck. Maybe you've been stuck in feeling a little down, depressed, but it looks like this week you're starting to come around. You're starting to come out of it, okay? Maybe it's just a simple case of how we think about things, not necessarily physically. So this card in reverse is all about moving in a new direction when it's upright. For me, when it's reverse, it takes on a little more of that opposite meaning. It's like when you're stuck between two paths to go, right? So you haven't been able to make a decision. And that's sort of your default. It's like your go-to. So some of you may have that procrastination, or I just can't decide, or maybe I just don't want to because it feels better over here when this is in the upright, okay? But they're telling you, your guides and angels, that don't allow yourself to get into that negative frame of mind, the sun in reverse. And that's how I see this. So move yourself forward, no matter how hard it is this week. Get yourself going. The sun is falling away. So sometimes this can be, to me, you're in the dark, okay? It's nighttime. It represents nighttime because when the sun is setting, right? Because it's in reverse. So let's see how we can live this going forward this week. And I'll explain a little more as I go. So living your week is about, as I mentioned, getting off your duff and getting some things done. And I know that seems to be a reoccurring theme this summer. But for a lot of you, maybe you've been in vacation mode and you just have been enjoying doing very little. Okay. Some of you this week have even maybe experienced too much sun, but there's not enough now. It's going down. You see how the sun's going down? So this could be a little darker week. So when that happens, we often have a tendency to get a little down in the dumps, right? Don't allow that to happen. Don't get stuck. This is where you often seem to default. You're somebody maybe that can't decide. So allow yourself to make a decision about which direction you want to go, whether it's a small project or situation in your life. Okay. For some of you this week, it's about our communication has fallen away. You see the swords? You haven't reached out to anybody. Maybe you're not sure. Maybe there's a certain person you need to reach out to, but you've had a bad experience. They're telling you don't allow that to cloud your judgment, even though there's no cloud here, it's in the reverse. So maybe there are some clouds in this. They're guiding you to go ahead and make that choice. And it does look like that could be your choice this week because, as I mentioned, the knives are falling away. So are you going to get off your relaxed butt and maybe reach out to those people you haven't texted in a while or emailed? You have some things you need to get done. It's all about this week feels like you're ending a vacation, people, a lot of you. So there's this ending here, but it's going into now full-blown work mode again, okay? The sun has set on your holidays. Okay, so now some of you need to get that going. Don't sit idle. But it doesn't look like that's going to necessarily be the case. Now, for a lot of you, as I mentioned, what about the clouds or the sun setting? This could simply be a situation in this week where you are having trouble at nighttime. Perhaps at night you have to get the work done. This is what it feels like. It's like For those of you, I know this is very specific, but this can relate to shift work. Okay. It's like, okay, I get my best things done at night. My best work is done in the evening. And it's been that maybe you've been on day shift and you're used to it. And now you have to decide, no, I have to switch my clock over. Very specific. But for those of my shift work people, this is talking about the change over between shifts, okay? But mostly, I would say this week is very focused on the end of our holidays. Now, for those of you who have started your vacation, because we're still in August and summer holidays, it's I feel like that they're telling you keep up your good spirits. Don't allow yourself to get trapped in a default mode of I'm not sure how I want to spend my holiday. What am I going to do? Because sometimes what happens when we go on holidays, for example, we only have a certain time frame and we almost panic. Well, I've only got, say, a week, or I only have 2 weeks or 5 days, or whatever the case is. I have to make it good. I have to use my holidays to the fullest. And so we get into almost where we can't decide what to do. It's like, oh no, I'm panicking. I had all these ideas of things I wanted to do, but for some reason they seem to be falling away. Don't allow yourself to get into that state. Remain calm, get yourself even some quiet time and get going and enjoy your time this week. I hope that made sense, my friends. It was pretty specific for a lot of you, but generally, what it's telling us this week is get up and get out there, make yourself in the real world, get yourself out into the world. Don't sit at home and feel sorry for yourself. Don't have that pity party in whatever capacity. Don't get stuck in not planning properly to do things this week, feeling, well, why should I bother? Don't allow yourself to get there. Keep your head up, keep your positive, try to move forward, even if it's in small increments this week. All right, friends? I hope that made sense and you enjoyed this reading. If you get something out of it, absolutely, I'd love to hear how it worked for you this week. All right, my dear friends. So thank you for spending time with me this week. I trust your intuition and keep your heart open and know that the answers aren't always in the cards, but they're actually in you. So enjoy the rest of your week, and I will see you next week in our weekly reading. Bye for now.